This is not your normal flint and steel. When I set light to any TNT, it causes a chain of explosions which can blow up huge areas. But this is just the beginning. The second item I want to make is like the Hyperion from Skyblock, except I think that it looks way cooler. I've named it the Divine Sunderer, and I'm using the Warden effect whenever you teleport, which looks way nicer than the explosion that Skyblock uses, at least in my opinion. And now we're moving back to an item that has the potential to be world destroying. This is called the Hyper Ground Zero, because we already made a Ground Zero item, which can summon a black hole that eats at the terrain around it. However, the Hyper Ground Zero has the ability to spawn new black holes over time. So if I set this off and leave it for a minute, you'll see the entire world is nearly destroyed. And you can see after barely any time, it's already eaten a huge amount of my world.
So good and tasty.
Now we're returning to an item that I think could actually be on a normal server. Well, normal-ish. And that is the flight ring. It's pretty simple. When you've got it in your inventory, you can fly even in survival. And as you can see, this works, and I can fly in survival Minecraft. Now we're going to move back to a world-breaking item like that black hole generator. But before that, really quick, I think I'm probably going to be making a new channel called Sly Student, where I'm going to do revision guides and tips and tricks for people who have their GCSEs coming up like I do. So go and check that out if that interests you, link in the description. This next item is actually a feature, and it's one that I found in this server that I'm currently on called MCCC. If I find a piece of armor and then I right click it, it switches with the armor that I'm currently wearing. And I wanted to replicate this feature on my own server. In my opinion, this is pretty overpowered, but not for the reason you might think, because just switching between all of these different types of boots is not very helpful at all. I mean, once you put it on once, you don't really need to change it, right? However, there's one use case you might not have thought of. If I grab a netherite chestplate and this other item, it suddenly becomes a hell of a lot more useful, as you can switch, and in practice, this allows you to fly in and then quickly switch over to a netherite chestplate, which makes for a pretty smooth entry into a fight. That's something I would find overpowered sheerly for how cool it is. But what if you don't want to have to fight at all? Then you can use the repulsor beam, which pushes all nearby mobs away. You can clearly see that mobs can't come anywhere near me, which is kind of funny when you use it on passive one. But I think we should go back to an item that just completely destroys the world. Because I mean, those are always the funnest. This one is brutally simple. It's called Death, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. Kills everything around you. As you can see, when I click this near a mob, it just instantly kills it, no questions asked. And if I travel to the end using this command, hopefully we'll be able to kill the dragon. If we just spawn him in, and not even close. That is how you really should beat the game. And well, we're here. Why don't we blow up the rest of the end using my next design, which is actually just going to be a repeat of the last thing we did with the TNT. I think you saw this at the start of the video, except I'm going to set it way too high and probably crash my game, so let's go and set that. If we just set the generations here to like 12, that's now going to summon 2 to the 12 TNT, which I think is about 2,000 if I'm doing the maths right, which should make a pretty huge explosion. And I actually think the most dramatic place to put this is probably right on top of here. So let's just place you down. Let's just place you down there, light you up, and let's watch the fireworks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 generations, and it's completely destroyed the top of the end. And all of the TNT is still going, and lagging, and glitching out and respawning in when I get nearer. I would say this is a pretty successful design that is really nicely customizable. So let's move on to the next, slightly less broken item. I reckon we'll do 2 more items before we finish up. This next one's going to be a nice simple one, just a teleportation device. And then the final one's going to properly crash my game. I really want to see that error message at least once this video. Fortunately, I've already got a teleportation design, so I can just grab this and teleportation. But this has a cooldown on it. So I made a second design, the Amount Us Knife. So let's say you just randomly teleported into the overworld and you're falling from a great height. You can get yourself to safety by teleporting into water. Or let's just say that you want to get somewhere really fast. By just clicking your mouse, you can be moving at crazy speeds. And then just try not to hit the land when you come down because, yeah, you might die. And now it's time to crash my laptop. And the plan for this one isn't even to use an item that I've made. I'm gonna steal someone else's plugin for this last one. You've probably heard of the World Edit plugin, but I've got a pretty decent laptop and I want to see how far we can push the /sphere command. However, what is the fun in using someone else's plugin? There's absolutely nothing to it. So we're just gonna make our own version of the sphere command. There's no cap on it, and then completely crash this world. Fun. And all I have to do is in the ground zero code change this one thing, and it should go from making air to making black world. And finally we set this guy to have a max size of 1000, install that, and get ready to let this baby run. Well, that's hella anticlimactic. Okay, let me fix that real quick. I think that now if we try with this other item, yeah, there we go. Oh no. Oh no. Oh wait. Oh wait, I did it with the one that spawns multiple as well. Oh, we've really done it. Oh no. I'm just gonna leave this on a time lapse and let this run. I'll be back in 5 minutes and we'll see what the hell happened to my poor world.
How? Computer, why aren't you dead? We've spawned literally hundreds of thousands of big black holes and it's still not broken.
Hey Future Lithial here, I kind of had a bit of a temper tantrum at this point, and as you can see I spawned in a ton of TNT instead of black wool, and I blew it all up, but I mean it achieved the goal because we got the message, we crashed the game boys. Love you all, see you next time, bye, have a great time.